Today we are going over the 5 things that I hate about living in Columbus, Ohio. Now, there's a lot of things that I absolutely love about living in Columbus, but today I want to give you the honest truth about a few things that I do not like about living here in Columbus, Ohio. Stay tuned, you will not want to miss it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Blake Kircher. Before we get into the video, I quickly wanted to mention I am a licensed realtor here in Columbus, Ohio. So if you or anybody else is looking to relocate to the area, I would love to help you with your real estate needs. My information will be on the screen and in the description below. With that being said, let's get straight into today's video. The first thing that I hate about living in Columbus, Ohio is the weather. If you're like me, you like consistency. And I'm telling you, Columbus, Ohio weather is nothing but inconsistency. In the summer, we have some frigid cold days, and in the winter, we have some really hot days. It doesn't make any sense. And here's the thing, Columbus, Ohio weather is very bipolar. It can be raining one minute, then the next minute it's perfectly sunshine and rainbows. Now, if you're like me, you do not like this. You like consistency. In a perfect world, I wish Columbus, Ohio was 70 and sunny year around, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Columbus, Ohio has very, very frigid winters and very, very rainy winters as well. It does snow here in Columbus, Ohio and the surrounding areas, but the main thing is about the winters, it gets super, super cold and it gets super frosty and really frigid outside in the winter. And in the summers, it's really, really humid. The summers are really nice here in Columbus, I will say that, but it almost gets too humid. So if you come from an area that's hotter than Columbus, but it's not as humid, you are not going to like Columbus, Ohio summers. It's actually going to be quite miserable and energy draining. So I highly recommend if you move to Columbus, Ohio, drink plenty of water and stay hydrated in the summer. Next, let's talk about the construction. Columbus, Ohio and the surrounding areas have a ton of construction. Now, a lot of people would say, Blake, isn't this a good thing? Yes, the city is growing tremendously. I love it. I think the future is amazingly bright here in Columbus, Ohio and the surrounding areas, but construction right now for me personally is something I cannot stand. If you're like me, it takes me about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get to the office. With traffic, sometimes it takes me 30 to 45 minutes. And if I'm going downtown to work out, I live in Gahanna, Ohio. It's a nice suburb. My gym is in downtown Columbus in Grandview. Typically with no traffic, it takes me about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. But if I'm in rush hour traffic, best believe it's going to take me 30 to 35 minutes to get to the gym. I'm sitting in traffic on the freeway. To this day, I still do not quite understand how there is so much traffic on the freeway, but there is. Whether the city is making a road wider or whatever they are doing, there's always construction. And it doesn't matter if you're in downtown Columbus in the heart of the city or you're in the suburbs, there's always something going on construction-wise here in Columbus, Ohio. In addition, Columbus is tremendously known for their huge potholes. I swear in the winter, potholes are everywhere, especially when salt crews lay down salt. When there's snow, it just makes the potholes 10 times worse. So just be on the lookout when you move to Columbus. Always leave early. It's better to leave early and get somewhere early than better to leave right on time and get somewhere late because there's too much traffic that you did not account for. Next on the list, this feeds in perfectly, is bad drivers. Columbus has some of the worst drivers in the country. Now, I must admit, I haven't traveled a ton of places. I've been to Vegas, Miami, and I can tell you right now, the Columbus drivers are worse than any place that I have ever been in. I'm not sure it's because there are younger drivers or the drivers just do not pay attention, but the drivers are horrible. They either will not let you over or they will act like they're gonna let you over and at the last second, not let you over. In addition to that, either drivers drive really, really slow because they're texting on their phone, which I do not recommend, or they drive really, really, really fast and reckless, causing accidents. And in the winter, people drive so bad. They act like they've never seen snow. If you lived in Ohio for any amount of time, you know there's going to be snow. You should at least be able to drive in the snow. And if you can't, stay at home. But don't tell that to Columbus drivers because they are some of the worst drivers in the winter. They swerve everywhere. They drive 5 miles per hour. They just, it really frustrates me how bad Columbus drivers are. And I hope there's a solution, but I highly doubt it. It's just going to be something if you move to Columbus and you live here for a long time that you get used to, or you're going to have to get used to if you're coming from out of state. Number 4 on the list, let's talk about the lack of entertainment. While Columbus, Ohio, we do have some professional sports teams such as the Columbus Crew, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the minor league baseball team, the Columbus Clippers, and of course the Ohio State Buckeyes, which is my favorite sporting team here in Columbus. We don't have a ton of entertainment. It's not like your LAs, your Miamis, your Chicagos, where there's places that people come to visit and people come from out of state to attract tourists. It's not one of those places. Columbus, Ohio, we have average entertainment. We have, like I said, sporting events. We have concerts at Nationwide Arena and Express Live. We also have a pretty cool, amazing food scene. I will admit that. But in terms of entertainment, like stuff to do on the weekends, really cool things that really attract people to the area, we don't have much of that, to be honest. I can't think of one off the top of my head. You have to drive a few hours to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio in the summer. You have to drive to Cincinnati to catch a Cincinnati Bengals game, or Cleveland to catch a Cavs game or a Cleveland Browns game. But otherwise, there's not a ton of entertainment locally here in Columbus, Ohio. We have your smaller entertainments like Top Golf, movie theaters, nice walking trails, I will say that. But overall, it's a pretty boring place to live, especially if you like to go out, try new things, nightlife, that kind of stuff. There's not a ton of that in Columbus, so just be prepared when you move here that the entertainment is not where it needs to be for such a big city. I believe that the entertainment will improve over the next 5 to 10 years as the economic growth continues to happen and more people come to the area and there's a more desire for better entertainment. But as of right now, besides your professional sporting events and concerts and amazing food and restaurants, there's not a ton to do. There's no beaches, there's no amusement parks in Columbus. There's nothing like that. So hopefully that will change in the near future. Last but not least, let's talk about the extremely high tax rates. Columbus, Ohio and Franklin County have high tax rates. There's a 5% state income tax. On top of that, the city charges a 2.5% income tax, making a total of 7.5% income tax. That is extremely high. If you're like me and you make your money, you work hard, you want to keep as much money as possible. And here in Columbus, you lose quite a bit of money. Now, this is a big expense that you have to account for. If you're used to a state you're coming from with no income tax, this is going to be an adjustment for you. I just want to give you a heads up. In addition, Columbus has a sales tax rate of 7.5%. This is higher than the rest of the state with an average of 5.75%. As you can see, Columbus has high taxes. In addition to income tax and state tax, Columbus, Ohio also has a very high property taxes when you compare the property values to the amount of taxes you're paying for the property. It's one of the higher property tax areas in the entire country when you look at it from that perspective. So just factor that in when you come to Columbus. You will be paying higher taxes than a lot of places throughout the country. I think Columbus is a great place to live, but I just want you to factor this in because you might be shocked if you don't know about it. All right, guys, Columbus overall is a fantastic place to live. I know today we talked about the 5 things that I hate about living here in Columbus, but overall, Columbus is a very good place to live. Whether you're a single person, whether you are raising a family, or you just have a spouse, Columbus has a little bit of everything for everyone. The entertainment will improve. The tax rates are higher. It is what it is. In general, the cost of living is lower in Columbus, so that kind of balances everything out. So if you have any questions about living in Columbus, I highly suggest you reach out to me directly. My information will be on the screen and in the description below, like I mentioned earlier. And if you are relocating to Columbus one more time, I would love to help you with your real estate needs. Until next time, guys, please let me know what you want to know about next in the comments. I will make that video specifically for you. Until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.